So, start recording na po. So, experiment number 2, free falling bodies. So, hello po, Miss. So, our objectives po, sa Yuval.
Learn the nature of free fall motion by observing the position versus time. 2. Determine the acceleration of gravity. 3. Explain how free fall actually works in the real life. 4. Give examples and scenario of free falling bodies.
So, for the instruction po, Kuya Wilmar, pabasa nga po. Instruction.
Okay po. So for instructions, open the following link. So ito po yung binigay na link para ma-open yung experiment. Then number 2, from the home page of this link, click on lab. From the lab window, use the provided controllers to adjust the height y and the velocity of the launch ball, the mass, the object shape. Then number 3, adjust the first height at 16 meter and the velocity must be at 0. Then number 4, release the ball and use the time meter, control the time meter and fix it at the final point of the ball. To measure the time needed for the ball to travel 16 meter in velocity direction. Vertical
Ako
direction.
na po siya. So, number 5.
Sorry. Then number 5, record your data in table 1.
Ayan.
Number 6 po, change the height to 15 meter, release the ball and measure the time needed to travel 15 meter in the vertical direction. Record the new values in the table 1. Number 8, repeat step 3 to fill the table 1. 9, use Excel software to plot relationship between 1/2 t squared and y. And last, calculate using 1/2 t squared. So, yung table po na nandun na po sa word namin. So, pabasa na lang Yuval.
Ano
For 15 meter paguma.
yung y quantity m, yun yung 16.
Yung height.
Yun na. Yung 16, then 15. Saan pa to? Hindi na, no?
So,
15,
we recorded po, Miss, yung result po nung nasa simulation from 15
to 6.
Down to 6 po. Nandun na po sa table namin. So, from the table, find the slope. So, slope, ang given po ay height yung 15 to down to 6, then katumbas siya po na 1/2 times time raised to 2. Sa 15 po is 1.53. For 14 is 1.42. For 13 meter, 1.32. For 12 meter, 1.21. For 11 meter, 1.12. For 10 meter, 1.02. For 9 meter, 0.91. For 8 meter is 0.81. For 7 meter is 0.70. And for the last 6 meter is equal to 0.61 meter. So, move to the next. So, so the slope is
Ang slope. The slope is 0. Diba saan ko yung lahat? 0.102074 s second. Second ba yun?
So, next na po tayo dun na po sa mga question po. First is define the term free fall. Pabasa po, Kuya Wilmar.
Wait lang pa. Sorry. Wala ako. Sorry.
Yeah. Ano? Screenshot.
Ito.
Ito ba yung supply the needed information?
Yung define free fall po.
Okay. Okay.
The term free fall.
Okay, sorry. So, number one, so define the term free fall. So, yun ang sagot po namin, in Newton physics, free fall is any motions of the body where the gravity is the only force acting upon it. In the context of general relativity, the motion the motion of falling objects is the simplest and most common example of motion, which is changing velocity.
I
If a coin
can
and a
see your
piece of paper are simultaneously dropped side by side, the paper takes much longer to hit the ground. However, if you can crumple the paper into a compact ball and drop the items again, it will look like both the coin and the paper hit the floor simultaneously. This is because the amount of amount of force acting on the object is a function of not only the mass but also area. Free fall is the motion of the body where is the height is the only force acting on the objects. So yun po.
So for number 2, convert the value of the gravity from m over s squared to centimeter over s squared. So Yuval. So
So yung meters natin is 0.102074 meters over s squared times, para ma-convert is 100 centimeter over 1 meter. And then ang mangyayari is and cancellation dun sa meters, and then ang sagot is 10.2074 centimeters over s squared.
yeah.
Yan yung sagot.
So for the next question, what is the relationship between t and y from the ty graph? So the relation between the ty graph, if an object is dropped from a certain height and falls for a time, then its equation of motion can be written as y is equal to velocity initial plus 1/2 gravity times time squared. So where the velocity zero is the initial velocity, which is equal to zero if if the object falls from rest, and the previous equation can be written as y is equal to 1/2 gravity times time squared. So for number 4, does the time flight depend on the initial speed?
So, question number 4. So, ang sagot sa question number 4 is, the time of flight is controlled by the object's velocity initial and the projection point. The net vertical dislodging of the item is zero when the place of projection and point of return are on a similar flat plane. The time of flight of a projectile motion is actually what it seems like. It is the time from when the item is projected to the time it arrives at the surface.
So for number 5, describe the horizontal component of the velocity during its motion in one word. So our chosen word that is it is dependent. So for number 6, what is the relationship between the angle of projectile and its range? Pabasa po Kuya Wilmar.
Okay, so for the answer for number 6, the angle of the trajectory and its range has a relationship in the time of the flight. If the angle of the projectile is high, then the time of the flight increase, yet the range will be decreases. While if the angle of the projectile is low, then the time of the flight decrease, but the range will be increased. So yan po yung example experiment namin.
So for the number 7, is the time of flight directly proportional to the speed? Explain. So our answer is we provided a picture and our answer is yes. The time of flight is directly proportional to the speed. When the speed increases, the time of flight and the vertical direction will also increase and vice versa. So for our conclusion, miss, nailagay na po namin doon and makikibasa, Yuval, ng first paragraph.
In this test, you will examine the idea of free fall movement by noticing the position versus time. At, the, at that point, to decide the speed increase of gravity. Free fall, the sum by which a speed changes inside a specific time frame, does is scalar amount or a vector amount. The most ideal approach to see the essential highlights of movement, including gravity, is to begin by thinking about straight here and there movement with no air resistance and friction. Free fall, which describes the motion of an object falling in a gravitational field, such as near the surface of Earth or other celestial object of planetary size.
So, pabasa ko yan nung next paragraph.
Wait lang. Okay. So for the next is, what are the components that influence the speed and speed increase because of the gravity? If you somehow happen to request this from common individual, they would probably say, wait, by which they really signify mass that is substantial items fall quick and light articles fall moderate. Albert, these many appear to be valid on first examination. It doesn't address my unique inquiry. Mass doesn't influence the speed increase. Because of the gravity in the any quantifiable manner, the two amounts are autonomous of each other. Light items speed up more gradual than hefty articles, just when powers other than gravity are likewise grinding away. At the point when this occurs, an item might be falling, yet it is in free fall. Free fall happens at whatever point on articles is followed up on by gravity alone.
So for the last paragraph, free fall is normal in our planet and it really works over the place and in our everyday lives. It's the motivation it's the motivation behind why everything on our planet isn't gliding. It assists us with outstanding ourselves in the ground, and without the free fall, we may be drifting noticeable all around. For example, the piece of a level paper drop, the piece of the level paper drop will hit the ground because of the free fall. In any case, if it's folded paper and drops once more, it hits the ground quicker since the paper decreased the decreased and the gravity power affects the size or space of an article. So that is all po, Miss. Thank you. So, ano po?
Thank you po.
Bye po, Miss.
Right. Thank you po, Miss.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Stop recording na po.
Wait ko.
Hindi pa ata nag-i-stop.